Okay, good morning today. Thanks for joining this demo. I'm talking
Yeah, hi,
about,
good morning, Ramnath.
yeah, good morning, good morning, good morning. Who are there? I see there are around 10 plus people are there. In this demo, this is actually, I used to give it this demo on previously a month back. I was just giving this demo. And that time also I find some around 10 to 15 people were there. And still more are joining nowadays. So anyway, I'm getting late. It's what's about to start by 11 o'clock. Now it is 10 minutes past, so let me start talking about some general terms so that the people will be joining as soon as we will be starting the demo on this. I guess everyone can see my shared screen. There is a PPT which you can see that. Anyone?
Yes, yes.
Very much. So
Yes,
AWS, thank you. AWS, Amazon Web Services. So AWS is there for in the market for last from the 2006 they are there. 2006 in the sense near about 14 years. In the 14 years, they have increased so many services which are offered from the AWS cloud. Many services in the sense we will be seeing about the services in quite in the next slides. I will just try to give you some heads up on the Amazon first of all. Amazon is a company which has been started on the early 90s, and Jeff Bezos, everyone knows that. He is number one top billionaire, trillionaire, whatever you can call. And he has got his own idea like that he would like to come up with some selling books online. That was his first business. Books online selling nowadays, it's a lot of Kindle applications has come, and so many people has come up in the network, internet. So this first they have started is nothing but like AWS has started, means Amazon has started the book selling. Then after the book selling, they is not stopping with just a book selling. They started selling on other consumer products as well. Sorry, I'm very sorry. Consumer products in the sense like whatever we try to buy some jeans or shoes or ladies, like toiletries, and whatnot, all the kitchen items and everything they started selling on it. So it's very, very easy for the people to not to go to the shop and finding out all the varieties and other things. Maybe the people will be saying that some other shops may not be containing some of the products which we are looking for. So when it isn't coming into the online in the sense, they go and search it out with that, because what is that in behind the all the vendors will be associated with the Amazon. So whichever the vendor who is having it, he will be selling it to you like that. So if you find it something is not available in Bangalore, in the sense you will not be going to Chennai or Hyderabad to buy something. That we will never go. We will just wait for Bangalore to arrive it to Bangalore, then we'll buying it. But that is not the case in the cloud computing like that. You just see e-commerce site, we just go there. They will just pull it up from anywhere available in the world and they try to deliver it to you. That is how. So this is about the consumer market and the book market and online selling and other things. So they were just not stopping with that one, because just book selling and consumable selling and other things which is not earning much money for them, because they built up a lot of data centers which are not utilized until their potential, means like the potential which has been they're looking for. They try to pick up the revenue from that, the one network which has been built on all over the world. Near about there are 140 countries present nowadays in AWS. So they were not using it to that full potential of that particular, the network and all. They try to start some of the services like that. We've been using this Google Drive for to store our photographs and marriage photographs and friends photograph, college outs and other things. So all the farewell party and other things, we were using all the photographs over there, and we used to keep our resumes or some documents which are very important for us. Like those things are actually we've been keeping all these things on the cloud itself, which without we knowing the word called cloud, it was been already been there. Google was already doing that. And at the time, 10, 15 years back and all, there was a Dropbox very famous, and Digoo is a very famous, and the SkyDrive which has come up, which is also the offering the services from the cloud only. So AWS has started the cloud operations. First of all, they started with the EC2 instances. EC2 means Elastic Cloud Computing. It started in 2006. Then later, one by one, we started pulling out all the services whichever we are getting. It wasn't full-fledged when it was going to It was in a full-fledged. Someone is voice is coming. Please, mute
Yeah,
your.
actually, can you please mute that because some background noise is coming? Yeah.
I couldn't find out that from where it is coming because person whoever is joined, please mute your audio and video. Okay, thank you. Okay, and I was talking about that the AWS has started this 2006 onwards, the offering the services to the computer as well as to the people who are in the IT industry. And from other industries also, they were started using that. They first started services called as an EC2, Elastic Cloud Computing Service. Then by year, they started doing all the other services as well. And by 2012 onwards, it was in a full swing. Whatever the services we are, most of them, 80%, 90% of that was started available by 2012 and 14 and all. Now 2020, the services, if you just go and see it in the AWS side, that you cannot even count it, that many services which are offered. Because it is quite forward, like they are quite spread out and distributed computing is available everywhere. And they started building their own data centers everywhere on all the countries. And they have started offering the services from their local data centers itself. How this cloud has been started in the sense, because I am in this industry for last 15 years. I've been an experienced guy. I've been working as a technical architect in the company. I used to design networks for cloud and for on-premises and for normal small networks as well. So we've been doing this cloud and all like that in a telecom cloud. We used to call it as normally telecom cloud because in the telecom providers only they were giving us lease lines and ISDN lines previously, and they were used to connect the services, used to connect to the two sites between, like say I can just say from Bangalore to Delhi connectivity, Bangalore to Singapore, Bangalore to Hong Kong, or Bangalore to US, anywhere we can able to connect. These all provided from the telecom cloud. That was a name, that cloud is named after the telecom. Then later these people has come up with the data center service. Actually it is called as the data center service. AWS is having so many data centers available in everywhere. And from the data centers, they started providing all the services to the people. That's how it goes. And before cloud, what was the scene? Anyone can ask me. That scenery was like when people are looking for to build their own data centers. In the sense, it's not possible for them. So the companies like Tata VSNL, Reliance Jio, Bharti Airtel, Spice Networks. In India, I'm talking about. In foreign countries, you talk about Sprint, AT&T, Reduno. So many other companies were there. They were providing the data centers for the people who can build their own services inside their data centers. They will be maintaining the hardware and software for them, and they will be giving you all the services to you like that. But you will be maintaining your own devices which are there installed, and moreover, all the devices whichever it has been installed in the cloud, not in the cloud, installed in the data centers of the third party, is been maintained by only you. You will be going upgrading with the physical devices as well. So that is a very cumbersome process because maybe like in Bangalore, in the sense, you can send the people to go and find out that. But if the service, if the particulars, like the facilities are not available in the sense, what they do, Tata VSNL will say, please come back to Bombay, we will be providing all the service to you. So then I'll have to send all the people over from here. Else, I may have to hire a team in Bombay to maintain all these things. These are all the problems which we were facing earlier, 15 years back, I'm telling. Now it is not the case at all. So now what happened after the cloud has come up, that everybody started building their own services, building their own networks within the cloud itself. They try to hire the services from the cloud itself. Hiring the service in the sense what it's like more of a like pay as you go rental. It's like a normal rental only. When we are looking for certain type of hardware which is not available, we can't afford for to buy that hardware. In the sense, we'll go for rental. Normally people going for a like laptop rental also. Normal laptop rental like that. You can have a very heavy database or heavy kind of data disks and heavy computing machines. Sorry, computing machines. These all we can hire it up. Hire it in the sense per hour basis they will be providing, or per monthly basis they will be providing. So like the same services, AWS also started offering that. And but I can just say that cloud services, the number one, and the whoever started as the first is AWS only, means Amazon Web Services. Then later Microsoft Azure has come. They are quite in the market for last 8 years. Google Cloud, it has been there for last 10 years, I can say. IBM Cloud is there, Oracle Cloud is there, DigitalOcean Cloud is there, CenturyLink Cloud is there. Like every other company, every other service provider started doing their own data centers, started doing their own cloud operating centers as well. Like, and I guess Jio is also planning for something. Reliance Mukesh Ambani is coming up with some ideas on this. And apart from that, and they got some tie-up nowadays. It's recently with the Facebook and other people. So there is a lot of investments are coming to India. Don't worry that we will not lose our jobs or something. But only thing is that we just need to upgrade our skills to the new technology which is available on the current trend. Technology is nothing but cloud technology, firewall technologies, like cyber security and normal networking and other things. People will not lose the job if they are not, if they are not going to upgrade their own skills. In the sense, definitely they lose the jobs. So you can't blame only the corporates to that they are firing us, they are not keeping us. In the sense, you are not upgrading your skills. What is required for you, what is required for the market. According to the market trend, we just need to upgrade our skills. That is what been more required. And we just need to put our own extra effort other than the office timing or something. Like, we just need to study something on our own. We can try, we can study YouTube. There are tons and tons of videos are there in YouTube. You can just download and you can watch. And many people are giving offering the very something on a free basis as well. There are a lot of networking groups which are there in the WhatsApp and Telegram as well. We can download a lot of files and all. We can start working on that. But see, what I say, like initially the initiation has to come from the person who is looking for that skills or something. It's not about the demand. You just go and make up yourself. No, just see the market trend. What is the people, what all the skills are required for that? What all the people are having that high paid job? How many, what is in the job market, what is so hot and trending? So accordingly, we just need to upgrade our skills to be in the market. So you will never lose a job. That's what I'm telling. This is only the, what is it, like a mantra, I can just say that. So this is the only thing is that we just need to have keep on our mind that continuous upgradation of your knowledge. That is what continuous integration and continuous development has been the CI/CD we talk about in the DevOps side. I've been in this industry for last 15 years. I've been I've been instructing people also last 10 years or something. Because I used to take some sessions in the office itself, as well as in the outside also. Today is Sunday, so I have some time that I can talk to you. And so today we will talk about the SAA. It means nothing but Solution Architect Associate level. This is the first level. I can just say it's not a first level. It's intermediate level. I can say first level is like nothing but cloud. Intermediate something is that is only for the sales people and managerial people now. Cloud information, so you'll be getting that. What all the informations are there? What is cloud and how to build the cloud? What is the cloud? What are the type of cloud is there? Hybrid cloud we talk about. Private cloud we'll talk about. Public cloud we'll talk about. And what are the services which are offered on the cloud? Like IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, database as a service. Not only this, these are all quite common general terms. We have so many other services which are available very much technically for each and every domain which we are facing on the market. Has got some services which has been built on AWS as well as in other clouds also. But I can just say pioneer, the number one, the leader is nothing but the AWS. AWS, once you have the experience on AWS and you can work on any cloud, that's what I'm telling. I'm not certified in any one of the cloud or something, but I can just say AWS gives a lot of opportunity for you to learn more skills, more upgrading your own more technology as well as. So the same people or other people are also following. Microsoft Azure is doing the same similar services. Google Cloud has also started providing the same services. It's about building the data centers only, nothing else. So once you build your data center, you can start providing the services to the people like that. So AWS, let us talk about today's topic is AWS CSAAC 02. 02 is a new exam which is available from the last March itself. So March is means around 5 months now. So when you try to go for an exam for AWS exam, this is solution architect means you need to write the C02 exam. In C02, they have modified so many contents. I will be explaining this in the later, in the slides. So C02 is an exam only currently available, and many people are saying that in all over the world there is a corona attack is there. So that's why AWS is offering one more service that is called as you can write the exam from home itself, means from your own laptop, official laptop. You can write the exam. You can just need to log into that site, and the screen will be get frozen. Only that you can see only the exam. You will not be able to see anything from your local hard disk or something. That is something is happening. Earlier, we need to go to the view Prometric or view data centers, something we just need to go for exam centers to write the exams and all. That is not, that is also available in certain places, but mostly people are asking to go for online exams only, sitting in their home and they can clear that. But examination point of view and the dumps and other question wise, like mock questions or model questions and other things, as soon as whenever I am getting that, I'll just pass it on to you people. I have a group running called Ramnet. In that one, I just used to share it out everything. So there is about the general topics about that. I would like to talk about now the solution architect associate, what we are going to study. Let me make this screen as a bigger one. Now it's came. So let me go to the first slide. Guess all you can see my screen now. I'll talk about the concept and the components, AWS platform. What are the platform it's containing? This containing so many services as well. Game development, business productivity, application services, analytics, migration, network and content delivery, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, developer tools, security and identity, storage, messaging, desktop and app streaming, mobile services, management tools, databases, compute, everything is there. So because of this slide is so small that I can include only this many services, but there are so many other services which I left out. We can see it in the AWS site itself, current services which are offered in AWS platform. We can see it on the AWS site itself. We'll see that. Next, according to this solution architect associate exam, what all things we are going to study? Messaging will be studying, desktop and app streaming will be studying, security and identity, storage, management tools, databases, compute, networking, content delivery, global infrastructure, and more things are there. That is also been there. We will be studying those. And would like to tell you about something on the global infrastructure. Yesterday, I just made this PPT. So this is a very current information which I am showing you. How many regions the AWS has been present? 24 regions are there. 24 regions in the sense all over the world. I'm telling. I'll show you the next slide with the data centers wherever they are. 3 announced regions means it is going to come up. 2x more regions means doubled. The regions are doubled in the last 5-6 years. Previously it was around 14 or something. Now it is 24. They are present in 245 countries and terrorists. Sorry, not terrorists. It's a territories served. 245 countries they are present nowadays. We were talking about around 140, 150 countries only. Now it is 250 countries they are present. 77 availability zones. 2 local zones and 2 wavelet zones. Every other region will be having the 2 zones on this. 97 direct connect locations. Direct connect in the sense you can connect your own on-premises network to the AWS without going to the internet. Everyone will be thinking about that. If you would like to create any services on the AWS, we need to have an internet connection. Not required at all. If you're going for a corporate connection or something, your on-premises network can directly connecting to the AWS by using the direct locations. We will cover that in the SAASM also. And 216 point of presence, edge locations it's are called as like where you can directly getting the service, means the end user will be getting the services from it. So 245 countries, 24 regions, 77 availability zones, 97 direct connection locations. I can just say this. Yeah, somebody's chatting. Voice is breaking bit sometime. Okay, maybe like because my net connection may be a problem. Okay, no issues. I'll come back to this slide. So yeah, that's what I was talking. 97 direct connection locations, 216 point of presence. These all, I can just say, if you compare it with any other cloud provider, cloud service provider, they are called as CSP. Now we normally say ISP. ISP means internet service provider. Cloud service providers are called as CSPs. If you compare the CSP with AWS with any other services, the AWS is the number one because of the numbers which I'm talking about on this. Next slide, I'll go. This is a global presence. You just see the American country. There is a site is there in the down. You can just say infrastructure.aws. We'll show you this site. Once you visit this site, you can just see that how the infrastructure has been built on this. And discovering by what all the things are offered on this particular location, you can click and go So that one, let me show you that later, not now. And the global network of the availability regions, AWS regions. AWS cloud spans 77 availability zones, 24 geographic regions around the world, with announced plans of 9 more availability zones and 3 more AWS regions in Indonesia, Japan, and in Spain. Still now, Indonesia is not having it. They will be either going back to Sydney, Australia, or they will come back to the Hong Kong or Singapore, something like that. But they are going to have that Indonesia also. So there are some technical things I would like to talk about. What is a region? What is an AZ? Region is in a geographical area, like a country, you can say. Each region consists minimum 2 or more availability zones. Availability zone is nothing but a data center. Very simple. Right. Availability zone is a data center. Region is nothing but a geographical area. Next slide. What is an edge location? Edge location are CDN endpoints for CloudFront. There are many edge locations than regions. Currently, there are 66. Now we just seen so many, 246 something we've seen that. And AWS platform has got each one of the services. I would like to tell you, networking and content delivery. Why I took this first? Because I am a network engineer. That's why. Don't worry. So networking and content, without a network, nothing is possible. We just need to build the network first. Then we will be building the computers. We'll be building some, we'll be putting some databases on this. Applications will be running on that. So we require to know about what is a networking and content delivery. Networking, we normally call it as VPC, virtual private cloud. Virtual private cloud. Virtual private cloud in the sense we will be creating our own cloud within the public cloud. That is called as a virtual private cloud. Every other company will be creating their own VPC inside the Amazon, like that. CloudFront is another service. Route 53 is another service. Direct Connect, which we talked about that. And the next one, EC2 compute. Without a compute, we will not be able to do, because this demo has been given from a computer only. I'm having my small Dell computer which I have. So this Dell has got i7 and around 16 GB RAM and 1 TB hard disk, something like that. It is been there. So the similar type of, like machine types, which we will be able to get it in the compute engine. That is nothing but AWS platform. EC2 service. EC2 means Elastic Cloud Computing or Elastic Compute Cloud. You can just say anything. And this Elastic Compute Cloud, with that only we will be creating the servers inside. And inside the servers, we'll be running some applications on that. Inside the applications, only the users will be created, rights will be given, permissions are given for that. Databases will be created on this. So everything is based on the EC2 basis, EC2 Linux. EC2 we can create with the Linux machines, or we can create with the Windows machines. Every other Windows platform is available. Means 2012 R2, 2016 data center, 2019 data center. Everything is available with the container service and other things. And in the Linux, we have every other flavor which is there in the market. We are having the Linux flavors in the AWS cloud. And Elastic Beanstalk, Lightsail, Lambda. Lambda is a very good service. We just need to understand what is Lambda and other things. We require certain small scripting skills to understand the Lambda. Easy to container service. Now we are running many of the servers on the container only. Container in the sense it's like application plus a OS, which has been running on that is called a container. So this is offered under the compute platform. Next is storage. Storage, definitely it is required for database storage and the normal data, whichever the people who are creating projects and other things, we need to store it somewhere. Emails need to get stored, files and directories and the pictures, everything has to be stored in some location. So AWS is offering S3 service, simple storage service, that is why S3. Glacier, EFS, storage gateway, everything is possible on this. On this, under the storage service, we'll be getting on this two different services, mainly two. One is S3, another one is Glacier. S3 means like frequent access will be used on S3. Infrequent access, maybe like you will be accessing the file for 6 months, 1 year later. So you will be putting it in the Glacier service. If you are accessing daily, like day-to-day operations, when you are doing some storages, means like you are downloading, uploading files and all, we will be using the S3. AWS storage portfolio. This is a new new slide which I got that yesterday. I got this one. And in storage, what are the things we are having it? Object, block, file, backup, and other things. Data transfer and edge processing, it's also possible. Object is called as like Amazon S3. Whatever the files you are uploading, that is called as an object. Whatever it may be the file, whether it is a text file, doc file, JPG file, MPG file, whatever it may be the file we are uploading or downloading, that is called as an object. Block is nothing but elastic block service. Means the hard disks which are used under this EBS services only. When we try creating the machine will be having the hard disk from the EBS services only. Then the file, under the file system, we will be having the EFS, FSX for Windows, FSX for Lustre. Lustre and EFS will be used for Linux platforms. FSX is used for Windows. Means file sharing services between the servers. That also we can do. And it means like hard disk sharing between two different servers. Backup, definitely we can do AWS backup on this. Without the backup, nothing is working on IT industry. So we require to have the proper backup so that the auditing can be done very faster, and it is very much helpful for auditing. Data transfer and edge processing, storage gateway, data sync, data transfer, SFTP, Snowball Edge. So many services which are offered under the data transfers. Means from one cloud to another cloud you can transfer the data. Means from AWS to Google Cloud you can transfer. AWS to AWS to Azure you can transfer the data. Or from on-premise devices storage, you can transfer the data to the AWS. For those services, we will be using any one of this, data transfer and edge processing services. And in the AWS platform, we just need to talk about the databases. The databases are relational database service. It's coming under all the databases, whichever it is a conventional database, means Oracle, or Sybase, or DB2, or MariaDB, MS SQL servers. These are all coming under the relational database management. DynamoDB, Redshift, Elasticache. These are all the new databases which has come. According to our own requirement, we will be using the Redshift. Redshift is coming under the data warehousing solutions. Elasticache and DynamoDB can be used for that. So we will see the databases also in this course. AWS platform has got a migration. That's what we were seeing. The migration is coming under like data migration service, DMS, that is used for database migrations and other things. Snowball and server migration service. These all we can use it for when you try to migrate your virtual machines from the local network to the Amazon. We can use this one of the services. We've been using some third-party solutions as well. Third-party solution integration also possible, but AWS is also offering certain services, which are Snowball, DMS, and SMS. Analytics can be very easily, and they can understood by the people who are doing some programming and other things. But there are data analytics people are the data science, data analytics. Those people can utilize these services. Athena, EMR, Cloud Search, Elasticsearch, QuickSight, data pipeline, and Kinesis and other things services are there. Security and identity, this I need to talk about very much in detail, because whenever there is a server has been created, under the server the users has to get created. Users and permissions. Without a username and password, you will not be able to use any services inside the AWS platform. So we require the IAM, that is called as identity and access management. Under that, we'll be creating the users, giving them rights, permissions, certain services on this, and we'll be creating some policies. Each and individual groups we can create for that. Under the group, we can give some policies for them. We can set some policies and permissions. Users will be inheriting this rights and permissions from that group. Many things are there. So certificate manager used to keep your certificates available. WAF is like what is that? It's like a firewall, web application firewall we call it as. And many other services available: inspector, directory service, artifacts. Normally what we do in AWS SWA course, we will see that IAM very much in detail. AWS platform, and these are all for the people who are doing the programming. CloudWatch, CloudFormation, Cloud Trial, OpsWorks, Config, Service Catalog, Trusted Advisor. Programming skills, in the sense, a little bit of programming skills also required for a person to be starting with the cloud operations. So you should know this. I'll be teaching this, not a problem. CloudWatch and CloudFormation, other things I'll be teaching that. CloudTrail is for log analysis and other things. OpsWorks, Config, Service Catalog, Trusted Advisor also can be done. This is coming under the management tools office. The next slide. Application services: upstream, Elastic Transcoder, API Gateway, SWF, step functions. Elastic transcoder. If you would like to transcode your file, means like from one format to the another format. Your video is running on MP4 and you would like to convert it to the MPG format or something. You can use this service. We will upload the file, JPG file or MPG file. Then this service, serverless service will be converting this, like your file into the new format on this. So that also you can do that. There are third-party applications available. You can download and you can do that. But when it is going to the heavy format, heavy file or something like that, near about 4 TB, 5 TB file need to be converted in the sense we require to upload it and we'll have to do this. The next is the developer tools, code commit, code build, code deploy, code pipeline. More things are there. These coming under the DevOps. We can build DevOps completely on AWS platform also. CI/CD and many other technologies are available, which we need to study that. For that, to service the programmer people, like it's been given as a commit, build, deploy, and pipeline. So that is under the developer tools. Mobile, how you left out with the mobile things, because nowadays everyone is having their sixth finger as a mobile in their hand. So Android or iOS platform or Windows platform. Windows platform is not there still. So iOS and Android platform, we can develop some mobile services also on this. Device form, Pinpoint, mobile analytics, mobile hub, and Cognito. Every other services, whichever it is possible for the mobile developments, it's possible. 2G, 3G, 4G. Nowadays, the 5G is also come up. And business productivity, work docs, work mail, IoT. IoT is very much a hot in topic nowadays. All the colleges have started teaching the IoT nowadays, Internet of Things, along with the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So that may be very new to us, but we need to learn in quite some time. Else we will not be able to work in any platform also. This is about the data desktop and upstreaming. Artificial intelligence has also been there. Lex, Poly, machine learning, recognition. So many other services also came up. It was quite old. Means this has also been offered. And later services also has come. Lex, we normally use that Alexa. Alexa is using this some kind of artificial intelligence only. And this Alexa will be, Alexa, I play this song. Alexa, you just search and tell me that what is happening, something. So we are just talking to that. The talking is going through the artificial intelligence. It learns our language and our accent, and it is converting into that code or something. It runs it inside within the cloud. It goes and search and everything. It will give it to us for us. So that is nothing but an artificial intelligence. And the messaging platform SNS, SQS, and SES. SNS, simple notification service, simple queue service, simple email service. So email service, you don't need to build your email server over local platform or something, local on-premise something. We can create the email servers inside the Amazon itself. That is possible. The next is important links. Like what are the links are there? We just need to open our account to work on AWS. Free. It is quite free. 12 months free. 12 months free in the sense it is definitely 12 months free. Not like the other people are just cheating. Azure will be giving you only 1 month, but they will say 12 month. Till 12 month, it is not possible. In Azure, it is only 30 days possible. Google, they'll say we are giving 12 months free. Nowhere. They are giving only 3 months. That is 90 days only free. You will not be able to use any other services after the 90 days. If you are using something on Google Cloud, it will be charged. And in Azure, after the 31st day, everything will be charged. So they are just faking it. But AWS never fake it. AWS has got 12 months in the sense 12 months, 365 days your account will be running freely. And under the free, what all the services can be offered? We just need to verify the selections of this. We will not be able to use the heavy duty machines and all. We will not be able to run under the free tier. So at that time, I will be giving you the warnings and suggestions, notifications as well. So that time, if you just go through that properly, they will avoid spending the money inside the AWS cloud. Else, you will be spending a heavy lot of money. And again, I'll just say AWS is nothing but a corporate. You try to pick up money from you, they will just see your pocket only always. So we just need to be very much alert when we try to activate any services under the AWS or something. So I'll be guiding you properly. Don't worry about that. So this is about how to go and create an account on this link. When you just click that, it'll go to the free account creations. And examination info has been there. Exam blueprint has been there. In the blueprint, what all the things, the topics are covered. We can see that. And the next one, this is a certification map. Let me tell you. After this, I'll be giving you a demo. Please don't worry. I'll just show you. But let us finish this certification part of it. We'll go to the demonstration part of it. So you can just see from the down, that is a foundational. You just see that this is a foundation. This foundational is given like a cloud practitioner. You will be getting a certificate called as cloud practitioner. This cloud practitioner will not do any technical work at all. He will not be understanding completely about the cloud as such. He'll be knowing what is the cloud, what are the services are offered, that much level only. This is for, I can just say, this is only for the people who are managers or the sales people or somebody like this. But we can just omit this, it's not required for us. We are talking about this associate level. Associate means it is a solution architect associate. This is an architect. This solution architect level only we are talking about this demo. When you would like to go to the next level in the certificate on this one, we may have to go, somebody is joining, okay. And we may have to go to the professional in the top, solution architect professional. This is a professional. Requirement, they saying the 2 years of comprehensive experience, something blah, blah. 1 year is enough for associate, but I would like to say that at least you should be having the proper understanding on network, operating systems, network operating systems, databases, little bit of scripting also will require, or if you have this knowledge also it is enough. Means like you are, even if you are a fresher, you know this certain things from your college, if you've done some small coding and you studied something about the network and operating systems, that's more than enough, you can start with that. And what is the next level after this associate and professional? This is the specialty which you talk about, that is the next level after the professional. Okay, in this associate level itself, there are more certifications are there. Solution architect associate, sysops admin associate, developer associate. There are 3. Developer associate is for the people who are coming under the code experience, programmers. Sysops admin in the sense people who are coming from the system administration point of view. But I would like to suggest the people has to go for solution architect level first, associate level, then they can try for sysops, because sysops is more harder than the solution architect. And developer, if you are very good at programming and other things, you go for a developer, else please don't go for it. Okay, then what will be the next level of the sysops and developer people can go to the DevOps engineer. It's a complete coding, complete and in and out, everything is in the coding only. So once you finish this professional level, you will be getting into the specialty level. In the specialty, there are 6 tracks available. I can just take it as like a data analytics specialty, machine learning specialty, advanced networking specialty, security specialty, Alexa. This is for Alexa building skills. Then database specialty. There are 6 specialties are available. People has to start from foundational, go to associate, then try to professional, then go directly to the specialty. Don't jump directly to the specialty. It is not possible at all, because the levels which are asked for the question in the paper like that, never able to answer that, you will be failing. So better you start with this level. Solution architect associate is nice to start with an AWS certification. Later you can upgrade your skills to any one of this. No harm in it. Next slide. This is the architecting path, whatever they say. So AWS technical essentials is very much required. I will be covering up that. Then you go to the architecting on AWS, exam readiness, solution architects associate, exam readiness intensive workshop, means you just need to go through this, and associate accelerator, then associate exam readiness. Then you can go to the AWS certificate solution architect associate exam. Professional level, it is in the down. Technical essential first. Architecting in AWS means AWS solution architect, you should have done that. Then go for a exam readiness, then get into the exam. This is how it has been. What do you say? This is the readiness, you can make it up for yourself to come back to the exam level on this. And I would like to tell you, when you're going for an exams or something, and when you try to get into any one other company, like when you are applying that you are a cloud person, you know about the cloud or something like that, they will be asking you whether you have certified or not. So certification is very much important in cloud, unless and until the people will not believe you that you can do something on cloud, because cloud is very dangerous. I'm not threatening you, I'm telling you the real scenario. When you touch any one of the another menu selection, in the sense, you may end up heavily costing your company to pay for it. That is what the problem. And moreover, things are very much confusion, and because you will not be able to make out the picture in your mind. Cloud understanding makes at least 6 months to know about that. Even though when you go through some trainings or something, you just need to work a lot, practice a lot inside the cloud. then only you will be getting some clear path where is actually originated, because everything is not in your eyes in front. In front of it is not there. Everything is in somewhere. It may be in data center in Tokyo, or it may be in Bangalore, or it may be in Sao Paulo, North America, South America, something like that. It will be there. So you'll not be able to see that where is the the machines are located, database is running out, how the logs are coming up. Like that path itself will be having the very much confusions in your mind. So everything will go up when you start practicing on heavily. So the next one, this is the examination info. The examination info is available to take from March 23. So it is around at least 6 months. It is the exam is available. Exam detail format, multiple choice, multiple answer. So you will be selecting multiple answers. Answers are already been there. Means if there is 4 answers are there, they'll ask you to select 2 answers like that. 2 or 3 choose. Like type is associate level exam. Delivery method, testing center or online proctored exam. That's what I was telling you. Due to this corona pandemic, they given this online proctored exam. Else we may have to go to the testing center. As usual, we'll go and write the exam over there. Timing is 130 minutes to complete the exam. 130 minutes, it means 2 hour, 10 minutes extra. Okay. And the cost is $150. Practice exam is $20. You don't require any practice exam and all. Don't waste your money. Directly go for the exam only once you prepare. $150, it will come up in Indian money around 12,000 or 13,000 plus GST, something will come up. So you'll be paying around $14,000. Normally, I'm saying. Then what are the languages it is available? It is available on English, Japanese, Korean, and simplified Chinese. We don't want anything. We just write it in everything on English. Then if you like to have that information, you can click on this link. It will take you directly over there. So this is about examinations and services offering, the exam point of view, and what is the type of exam, how much money you're going to spend for that exam, and how much the time and other things are there. Okay. So before going into that, I would like to give you my details on this one. You can note down which is on the screen. You can talk to me on call, or you can WhatsApp me on this number. You can send me an email about this more information on this particular demo, or like AWS. I used to offer AWS trainings, Google Cloud trainings, Azure trainings, Cisco trainings, cybersecurity trainings, like, and FI load balancer trainings, firewall trainings, every other trainings which I will be providing to you. Accordingly, the timing and other things I can adjust with you, not an issue. You just get back to me, and it will be nominal cost only, because of the corona and pandemic and other thing. People are not having much money in their pocket, so I will reduce a little bit of money that they can definitely negotiate with me about the money part of it. That's not an issue at all. And I would like to stress something, like, because this is a most of the people are working from home only nowadays. Home in the sense most are jobless, or most are like they are searching for a job or something. And this particular pandemic is not allowing us to get the new job or something, because hiring has been mostly 90, around 60 to 70% has been frozen. It has not been done. So this is the time for you to build your skills. Any skills, I would like to tell you that please go for cloud building skills. Cloud is very much important for us nowadays. So whatever the services, whatever the company which has been producing any services on this, they try to offer it from anyone on the cloud. And I am doing the projects which are there in the, like AWS is the number one from the customer's point of view. 85% of the projects which are offered from AWS only. I myself is doing a lot of projects on AWS. I will not say that I'm not doing anything on Azure or Google, but it is very much lesser. 10% only going for Azure, 5 to 6% only looking for Google. So when you go for applying for an exam, applying for a job or something, the people will be asking that whether you are AWS certified. They normally call us AWS certified. What is AWS certified? Cloud certification they are looking for. And the people who are coming from the Windows background or something, they will be asking that whether you are Azure certified. Azure certified in the sense, Azure is quite easier for the Windows platform people. Like they can directly easily learn that. So, but that is not the point, because most of the services which are offered from the AWS only nowadays. So better you go. I would like to present, personally telling you that please go for AWS certification and clear that as associate certification on the architect level, which will be giving you more jobs on this. Okay, guess I'm talking so much, and let me go back to the screen. There I will be logging into my AWS. I guess everyone can see my screen. If you're not seeing it, please tell me. Anyone? Anyone, please? I'm logging in.
Yes, it's visible.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm logging into my account and I will be providing my password to this. So account creation will not be an issue. It may be done within 5 minutes. That's not a problem at all. Don't worry. I'll be helping you to create your accounts in 5 minutes. When you are creating an account, you require the debit card or credit card availability with you. Even if you don't have the credit card, debit card, you can ask with your dad or your mom or your friends. Friends may not be giving you, your relatives, you can ask with them. They'll be providing you, and I will be helping you that not to spend any money on cloud inside when you are creating the services or machines or something, because that same, like the whatever the warnings and suggestions which I'm giving you, if you're following that, you will not at all will be spending any money inside that. But one thing I would like to make it sure that without having any debit card or credit card information given to the AWS, you will not be able to create your free account. Then you may be asking that it is a free account, then why should I provide my card? They would like to keep tab on you, like what are the things you are spending and what are the things you are trying to creating it. When you go out from the free tier to the paid tier, so they may be looking for to charge you. How do they charge? How do they bill you? Billing is based on your credit card or debit card only. So you come up with one of the good banks, like anything in private banks are okay, and SBI is okay, IDBI or HDFC or Citibank and other things are okay. Please don't come up with any Grameen Bank or something, cooperative banks. Those are all not recognized by the AWS because they are corporate. They look for good banks which are already having the tie-up with those people only. They will be offering this services to you. So you need to create that account. So at the end of the course, when you're doing that for maybe like 1 month, will be going for this course. If you're finishing for a 1 month or something like that, it must be spending around 20 or 25 rupees only. That I can make it sure that very much I can restrict that money spending inside the cloud. But after the training, when you try to do anything on your own, I will not be sitting with you to correct your mistakes on this. So you should be keeping in your mind that what all the suggestions are given, warnings are given, that if you keep that and if you follow that, you will not spend any money on AWS to learn something, because you are not building anything, you are learning. So learning and education, you should not spend much money. That's what my point is. Okay, before going into creating anything, I would like to tell you, this is the management console. You can see that. And this is my name, Stuckraut. And when I just click on this, I can just see my account, organization, service, quotas, and billing dashboard, orders and invoices, security credentials, sign out. I can see all these things. This is for notification, this bell symbol. And this is nothing but a regions and data centers. This many regions are there. Regions are nothing but geographical locations. In bracket, you just see that US East 1, US East 2, US East. Under this, you will be seeing many data centers will be on this. So by default, it will be the AWS will be offering one of the data center for you. So everyone will be getting the Ohio only. You can run any services on any data center. There is not an issue at all. But I would like to inform you that please do create services on only one data center. So it's very easy for you to track. Else you will be losing it when you are creating something and you leave it out. Then if it crosses the month limit or something, you will be billed for it. Unnecessarily, you will be paying. And the next one is the support. You can have the support center. Even under the free tier also, you will be getting the support from AWS. But they will be sending some mails or some suggestions only. You can take up some of the help from the on phone also, but it may not be required because we are not going for any heavy paid services. We are not going to utilize it. And moreover, for examination point of view only, we will be using the cloud, because cloud, AWS cloud, there are 300 to 400 services are there. We are not going to see all 400 services. We'll be seeing maximum 25 to 30 services only under this exam point of view. So this is the management dashboard. I can just say under the dashboard, all the services are here. EC2, compute service, container service, storage service, database service, migrations and transfers, networking and content delivery, developer tools, customer enablement, robotics, blockchain, satellite, quantum technology, management and governance, and media services, machine learning. So many of the machine learning has got so many services, analytics, These are coming into the major services like security, identity, IAM. We require to create the users here. AWS cost management, mobile, AR and VR, augmented and virtual reality, application integrations, customer engagement. So many other services are there. So to start with that service, to give you some small demo on this one, let me start with the EC2. EC2 means Elastic Cloud Computing. Elastic Cloud Computing, where we can create servers on this. Servers means either it can be a Linux machine or it can be a Windows machine. It's very easy for to create the Linux machine. Why I'm saying that Linux machine will be spin up very faster. Spin up in the sense it can be get created very fast. So here, this is the resources we are seeing it. Currently running instances, servers are called as instances here, 0, dedicated host 0, volume 0, volume means hard disk, KeePass, which I created on my own. This is the password, something other you can have. Placement groups are 0, elastic IPs, dedicated IP you can have, snapshots, everything is 0, nothing is there as such. Security groups are there. Through the security group only, we'll be logged into the servers as well. And we can have a launch instance over. When I click on this, I can able to get this. And I can just go to this instances on the left hand side. You can see instance types. I can click. What are the types of instances are there? It will be showing you a big list. These are all the names which they given. Box information. We normally call the i7 with 4 TB and 2 GB RAM. Something like that. We just say the same thing. It's been given. There are 6 screens. It will go. See that. This many services available. For example, I just say A1 2X large. When you take this machine, it will be giving you 8 CPU. AMD 64 is the architecture, memory is 16 GB, and storage we can add it later, and the network and other things will be coming up. Every other machines we can able to see. Like that I can go to the second page. Like that I can go to the third page. It will be keep on showing us. So many are there, so many machines. Like that 6th page also we can go. What do? I will be creating this machine only with it because it is a free for me. T2 Micro. This is the T2 Micro. T2 Micro is the machine which we will be using it because it is coming under the free tier. No need to spend not even 1 rupee for this creating a machine with this T2 Micro machine. T2 Micro, 1 CPU is available. Architecture is 64-bit architecture is available. 32-bit is also available. 1 GB memory, only 1 GB. Network performance is low to moderate. And on demand, when you try to go for a demanding something like that, this much you'll be spending per dollar per hour you'll be sending. On demand window pricing, something like that it goes. So I'll be using this machine type only. There are so many machines which we see. These are all so many machines. Why we require this much? According to the customer's requirement and application requirement, we may have to choose certain machines to run so that your applications will be running without any problems. So let me go back to the EC2 dashboard. I'll click on launch instance. Launch instance means I am going to create a machine here. So this I would like to tell all my students that please click free tier only because this or the OS selection we are in Amazon machine image nothing but a operating system selections. In this operating system selections, you can create Linux. See that Amazon Linux is there, Red Hat Linux is there, SUSE Linux is there, Ubuntu servers is there, Microsoft Windows, every other 2019 with SQL Server, 2019 to 2017 Enterprise, Microsoft Windows 1909 core base, so many of them, deep learning, so many. Okay, so many other things are that. Like see, what are the how many 40 AMIs means 40 type of OS available inside the Amazon cloud means ready-made available. If you are creating your own image and you are coming up with that build image on your own, you can apply to this community images or my AMIs. If you click on my AMIs, okay. Okay, if you click on my AMIs, if I created something and I uploaded something on this means in the sense it will be there. Else we may have to put it on normal, whichever it is available. Let me click on free tier only. So now it will be showing only the free tier eligible. So I will not spend any money on creating any machines on this for 30 days. For 30 days, I can run this machine without any paying any money to the Amazon. Okay, I selected this Amazon Linux. It's a general purpose and the T2 Micro is automatically selected. 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM, EBS means that the hard disk which I'm going to select in the next screen. Network performance will be moderate. Next, configure instance details. One instance I'll create, means one server I'm going to create. Purchasing option and other things are not required. Network, this is a VPC, virtual private cloud. Okay, and I can just say subnet, no preference, it's been already taken on it. Auto assign public IP, this public IP will be assigned to that. Without public IP only we'll be able to log into this server. Capacity reservation, we don't need to go for anything on this. IAM role, if you want, we can attach that. Shutdown behavior, let me take it as a terminate. And tenancy, it will be shared. Shared in the sense, shared. It is been shared with other people as well. Okay, so this is not dedicated only for you. Dedicated means it will be costing, it will be a billing. And if you like to push any script when the server is getting ready, we can run the script over here in this page. So now I am not running any script at all. I'm just creating one machine with all the default parameters. Let me go to the add storage. Storage is 8 GB is available. 8 GB for the hard disk. Hard disk will be having only 8 GB. Can you ever imagine that in 8 GB hard disk, the server will run? In on-prem, we never do that, but in as a demo purpose, we'll be running on this with the 8 GB only. And the next I will go for this to the tag. Tag is nothing but naming the server. Server name, I can just give it name tag. And I'll type it like Linux server. Any name you can give it, not a problem. Now I'll go to the configuring the security group. In the security group, what is a security group means? When you try to log into the server, what all the ports can be open? Means by default SSH is required. SSH means secure shell. If you try to log into the Linux machine, we require the port should be open called SSH. When the port number 22 SSH has been open, we will get a login successfully. So I will be logging from anywhere. Then I will add the rule as HTTP. I'm going to run the Apache server, means a web server I will be running it. Then I'll add the rule, one more rule that is called as all ICMP. Send from anywhere. From anywhere I can do that. Means from source can be seen from anywhere so that this protocols can be accessed in this machine. Let me change this name, demo 30th August. Let's. You can keep any name you want. Okay, so creating a new security group. Only these three protocols are allowed to touch the server which is built on the cloud. Okay, next. Reviewing and launching. It's giving me the warning because I given everything for anywhere. That is actually wrong. In real life, you will not be giving for anywhere. You will be giving customized one. So this is the AMI detail which I chosen. Instance type I taken T2 micro. Security groups I taken this. Instant detail I can expand and I can see one instance I'm creating. And the storage is nothing but an 8 GB, which is automatically given by default. Tags, but nothing but the names which are given on this. And I'll go ahead and they'll just click launch. Launch means I'm going to launch this. I have to create one key. Key I have already created. Key is nothing but the password. With this password only, we'll be going to log into this server. So you can just read out this all these things, public key and private key. So choose an existing key, else we can able to create one, or without going with the key itself. That is actually wrong. We should be choosing a key. Okay, I already opened, already set up one key, so I'm using the same key for this. And I'll go ahead and click launch instances. Initiating. Now you're viewing the launch now. Everything is successful. Means security group creation done. Authorizing inbound rules success. Initiating launch. Server is getting created like that. Initiation completed. So now I'll go and see the instance. View the instances. So now it is getting ready. You can just see green color. It's running. The name which I given it is a Linux server, and it is a Linux instance ID. It's automatically chosen. Instance type is T2 micro. Availability zone data center is it US is 2B. And somebody is joining. Okay. Status checks. It is getting initialized still. Server is not getting ready. Means it is booting up now. Alarm status is none. Public DNS name and public IP is unassigned. Monitoring is disabled. Means extensive monitoring is disabled. When it is launched, August 30, 12:09 PM Indian time. And security group which I created on this, owner is nothing but my account ID. account ID of AWS. You can see the details here also. Chandan is also joining. Okay. You can see the details here also, like descriptions are there, everything. So instance state is running, instance type is T2 micro, and many other informations are there here. Let's see until it is getting initialized. Okay. VPC ID, subnet ID, IAM role, what is the key pair name, right? When it is launched. And you can just see the public DNS and public IPs, US East B, that is availability zone, security group. This is what which we created. We can see the inbound rules. TCP 80 is nothing but HTTP. TCP 22 is nothing but a SSH. ICMP, that is for pinging. So everything is allowed. And what else you can see? AMI ID, that is nothing but the Amazon Machine Image ID. That's what we are using. Platform detail is Linux platform. Running everything. I guess it is initializing still. Let's go to the status check. System status check is still initializing. Instance status check, it is still initializing. We just need to see everything is ready. Then only we will be able to log into the server. Monitoring. Very basic monitoring will be done. CPU utilization, disk read operations, disk write operation, network in, network out, network packets in, network packets out, check failed, if anything is failed, CPU credit usage, balance, everything we can see, and tags, whichever the name which we given on this. So still status checks are getting ready. If you are seeing that this particular screen has been stuck, in the sense you can just click this 2 arrows that'll refresh your screen. Now two checks are ready, means system is ready, instance is also ready. System means when you try to reach that, your rack, network, AWS completely ready. Instance is also ready, server is also ready. Now I just need to pick up this public IP. I'll just pick up this public IP, then I will start my PuTTY. PuTTY is a client to log into the through the SSH. I'm clicking SSH on this. I need to open up the private key file. Let me go to my private key, and this is the key which I'm using. I'll just click. I have given the IP address already, and I have chosen the key also now, so I can click open. Now this will be asking you to security alert. We need to accept it so that we can log in. Click yes. I'll be logging in as with the default name, that is called EC2 user. EC2 user. Let me minimize the screen so that you can see. Okay, this is Amazon Linux. Guess all can see my screen. It's showing you the PuTTY screen as well. This is EC2. It's a graphical mark they made it. Amazon 2 Linux AMI. And I logged in as the EC2 user. It's showing me. I can become the root to install any applications on this. Sudo su, becoming the root. Let me install HTTPD -y. Means HTTPD is nothing but Hypertext Transform Protocol daemon for running the web server inside our Linux server. When I say enter, it will try to pick it up from internally only. Internal. Hello.
Technical video learning.
Hello.
Technical video நான் எனக்கு கத்துக்க வேண்டிய வீடியோ.
Okay. Please speak in English. Hello. Please mute your audio. Then we'll talk in the person in person. I'll talk to you. Please mute your audio, please. Okay. Now the service has been installed. I just need to start the service. Systemctl start HTTPD. Now the system has been started. I'll just enable it also. When a server has been rebooted, it will be available for me. Systemctl start enable. Let me verify whether the service is running or not. Status I can check. Running. Yes, HTTPD service active and running. So I need to create one home page for myself. I'll go ahead and create cat /var/www/ so many W's HTML, and I will give the name as index.html. I'll do some small HTML coding, very easier to understand. H1 is nothing but the heading. I'll type now the status means like which is getting displayed on outside, like welcome to the AWS demo on 30th August 2020. Thanks. Let me write thanks for attending demo. Maybe spelling mistake. Oh, it will not work. Backend will not work. Attending demo. Okay. Let me close it out. H1, and I can just clear it out with the HTML. So the file has been created. I'll just save the file. Now the file has been saved. If I would like to see that file, I can just see it like this. Without having this, I can able to see that file. So now the file has been created. What I need to do, I need to verify whether this web server is working and this page is getting displayed or not. For that, I will just copy this, either name or the IP address I can pick. I go to next tab. I'll click paste and go. I can see that welcome to the AWS demo on 30th August 2020. Thanks for attending the demo. So this is how we will be installing a Linux server inside the AWS cloud on your account. So if you want to have, if you have any other questions to ask me on this creation machines or something, you can ask me. I'm open to your questions. Not only about the machine creations, you can even ask me any about certifications or any other information as well. You can ask me. Anyone? Hello? No questions? Ask anything like about the certification information and how much you'll be studying for that, what are the information you're looking for, and how much is the duration. Duration, if you come to the class, it may take 30 days. Maximum 30 days it will be going for. So we'll be finishing up all the services which are there in the latest syllabus as well. And I'll give you the books as well as the dumps and other questions papers and other things. You for using other things, will give you all the I made some kind of small notepads for the daily labs. I'll share it with you. I have this PPT and other things which I can share it with you. So my ultimate aim is that to clear your exams and like get a job on the cloud platform, like that. You can ask me any questions on this. It's no questions as well. You can push me on the chat as well. Hi all. You can ask me any question. Let me type it everyone. Can you keep on AWS? Please press it. And you can provide me your email address and your telephone numbers so that I can get back to you about the training requirements as well. You can give it on the chat. Please open the chat in your screen. And please give me your email addresses so that I can give you all the information about that. I see many people are in the chat in the training as well. Okay, Sonar has given. Everyone can give me, and I will not be disturbing you. Don't worry about that. I'll be giving you only the necessary information from certification point of view and other trainings as well. Please give me your email addresses so that I can contact you on. Okay, Sudhir Kumar has given. Everyone can give it, and you can provide your numbers also. I can WhatsApp up all the information immediately. Okay. gmail.com. Please, somebody, there is some noise is coming from back end. Please mute your voice, please. Okay. How it is working for EC2? Means I didn't get your question. Moin Rutman has asked that how to work for EC2. You can ask me the question. You can unmute yourself and you can ask me the question on the phone itself. No problems. In the mic you speak, no? Hello, Rutman. You can ask me.
So hi Ramnath, Rupun this side. Just
Your
wanted
voice
to
is
know
very low. Your
how
voice is very low. Please make more sound.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Please.
Am I properly audible now?
Yeah. Very good. Nice. I can hear you. Very good. Please ask me.
Okay. Okay. So like how Route 53 works, at least working about that.
Route 53 is one of the service which is offered from the cloud. That is for we've been creating the website for our own like company, or personally also will be creating the websites. Maybe we will be going with some freely, or maybe like very less paid providers will be giving us like the website information and all. We can register our websites like with your name and something.com, something.org, something.xyz, something like that. Why we are using that? In the sense we would like to display our like product or something, or selling information or something, like we would like to give it on this. But those kind of very low performing sites and all will not be available for 24/7, and they will not be available for whole year itself. When your customers try to reach your site or something, that site may be down because of the maintenance is very poor. What the AWS is doing, that they will be taking this particular information content, you will be uploading into their own site. So that content you can put it on AWS itself, and you can redirect all the customers queries towards the AWS. So from the AWS, the content will be given. Your domain name will be intact. And I will just say the truthvan.com, something in the sense. It will be staying as it is, but the content will not get displayed from your original provider. It will be given from the Amazon side. That is nothing but the Route 53. We are routing the DNS queries towards the Amazon services. That is called Route 53. But we need to log in. We need to create a lot of EC2 instances. We have to create, and DNS endpoints we need to create for that. And so there is a lot of load balancers we need to create for that one. Simple load balancer has to create. Then we need to point it to. There are many configurations are there. First of all, we just need to have one website constructed and running. Then only we can use this Route 53 service on the AWS. This is very simply I told you, but it's not so simple. It may take a day or two to redirect your traffic towards the AWS or something, because DNS updates takes a lot of time. And first you need to create your site in any one of the free provider, or any less money, like a less costly provider, something like that. You can create your website. See, I also created one thing called uniweb.com. These are all smaller, what do you say? They don't maintain the sites properly. So Amazon is doing that on behalf of. Else, if you have enough money, then you can create your site in the Amazon itself. They provide the web services also, domain services also. They give that with yourname.com, something you can create. That is called Route 53. It's been covered in the AWS SSA, SAA, C02 exam itself. Route 53 is a very important chapter under the networking and content delivery. Thanks for asking, Rutwan. I guess you got some idea.
Yes, thank you. I just thought that Route 53 is nothing but like DNS.
No, not
They are
DNS.
naming DNS as a Route 53.
We need to create EC2 version. We have to pull all the contents inside. Then DNS services need to be started. And the DNS will be updated with the root DNS service by the Amazon itself, but it will take time. It will take near about 24 hours. So there's so many things are there. We need to divert the traffic from your cloud provider to the Amazon. So that configuration has to be done. That even if you finish your configuration in half an hour, things will start really working after a day or two, maybe maximum, I can say. So it takes time. So any other questions from anyone else? You can ask me, no problem. I'm open to all queries. On any cloud platform, you ask, either AWS or Azure or Google. I work on every other. Normally, I used to work in the back end of the cloud. I used to connect the clouds between to each other. It means a customer is having certain endpoints, certain services which are running on Azure, and certain services are running on their AWS or something like that. They would like to have the connectivity between these two clouds, which there I'll be working on. In the back end of ISPs, I'll be working on. So I have a lot of experience on every other cloud platform as well. Not a problem. You can come back to me for any cloud, either it is AWS or Azure or Google Cloud or any platform you can use. Okay, any more questions?
Ramnath, like I have a simple thing to know, like regarding Azure and regarding AWS. Somewhere I heard that all the Windows services like ADFS, AD, they are connecting well with Azure, and the previous softwares like Linux and other the open systems, they are connecting well with AWS. Is it like that really?
See,
Or like is it just for selling? They are saying for sale purpose, like.
no, not that way. That is the people's mentality is like that. But AWS is, I can just say it is more open than Azure. Azure is very much closed for Windows services. Azure is very easy to configure when you have the AD to get integrated with the Azure, because it is a backend process. In the background, you can do this all work very easily. That's how this Azure has been built only for what I say Microsoft customers. I can just say, because from my point of view, I can see, because I work on every other platform. I don't have any what is a soft corner on any services as well. Even AWS has got a lot of issues. Azure has got so many issues. Google has, don't ask me, like that many issues are there. But I'm telling you, when your company has been already working on last 10 years with the AWS, Azure AD services, AD is everywhere. AD and LDAP will be there. When you talk about the AWS in the sense, it's good for Linux. People are having that mentality. No, it is good for Windows also, and it's good for Linux also. But I can definitely say that Azure is not good for Linux. Azure is good for AD and Windows. That I can say definitely. Yes, I answer your question.
Okay.
Any other general question? No problem. You can ask me. It's good going now. I guess it's nice. And please provide your.
So like
Yeah.
Ramath, so like Azure AD, is there anything in AWS and so?
No. In AWS, we don't have an AD concept as well, but you can create your own AD services as well. In the Windows server or something, we can build our own services like to talk to the AD itself. It is possible. You can what is a, you will create one Windows machine with an AD, then you can attach your AD along with that one. You can merge it out. That is not a problem. And you can even people who are local to the AD on the what is it? Azure AD, AWS AD itself. It's possible. They can even log into that. That is possible. That integration is very much possible. See, what Azure is trying to promote, their cloud is better. Their cloud is good because of it is a platform. So whatever you are doing in Azure, you can do the same thing in AWS also. It is possible.
Hey, hi, this is Rama. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm basically a network engineer. Okay, whenever I go to AWS or Azure or some other clouding, I feel it is like a for Linux based or Windows based kind of a system admin kind of or kind of programming. So being a network engineer, I want to be stick in the core networking only. So in WS, what is the path? How it will be for network engineer?
This is a very nice question because I am also a network engineer, so I should be able to tell you the correct answer for you. Whatever you would like to try, start any services, any kind of a cloud certification, something, but you should need to clear associate level first. You should be trained at least on associate level. Then you can get into the specialty. I was showing you one slide that network specialty is there in the AWS. Google, I guess they may be also offering, Azure may be also offering it, but in AWS, I can say network specialty is there. But the specialty, you can work only when you have a proper knowledge on foundations, as well as an associate level, as well as in professional level on AWS. Then only you can get into that networking specialty. It is there, but without surpassing all these things, you cannot directly go to that networking specialty. That is not possible for you because you should understand VPC creation, virtual private cloud creations, and IP addressing configurations, Route 53, and DNS services. So many other services are there, which we need to understand everything. That can come only through when you go through the normal basic things on associate level. Once you finish your associate level, you don't need to go for exam only. I'm not telling that exam clearing is not required. Knowledge is required for this. Then you get into the networking specialty. It is very easy for you to clear that. That is good, very good question. But specialty level is the last. That is the last level of questions. And you are talking about that it is more of Windows or Linux based and scripting based. Now in networking also we are talking about software defined networking, right? SDN. In SDN there is more of scripting also we've been using that. We have started using that scripting also. So scripting is everywhere. Scripting, without scripting, you will not be able to survive in any market. Either you are a sysadmin or network admin or a firewall admin, or even if you are a guy who is coming with like normal experiences or something like that, as a database experience or something, whatever it may be the experience that people are having, scripting is nowadays become very much common. With that, so why the scripting is very much involved? Because everything is in out of reach. So if you try to pull up everything on a GUI, it may take time. The better you write a script and like a normal, like a small script or something like that, you can run it on a CLI. So things will be starting very easily for us. So that's why. So without scripting, it is not possible. Even in networking also nowadays, the scripting has come up. Why I'm talking about? I'm talking about Ansible and Python scripting is we for automations we started using the Ansible and Python also. In Ansible, we used to write script only, definitely. Without knowing the Cisco command or Juniper command or Arista switches commands, we can run everything on a script itself. Ansible, we can write on that. So without scripting, nothing is going to be very easy for a people to who are survive in the market. So don't keep in that mind that I should not be writing any scripting at all. I'll just go with the commands only. Commands means like a platform based. Cisco command will not work in Juniper. Juniper command will not work in Arista. Like that. So if you would like to come out of those situations, you just need to either you should go to the path of SD-WAN or you just start doing some network automation skills like Ansible and Python and other things. Like so many ways are there, paths are there, we just need to choose it. So AWS has got network specialty certification is there, but that you can go to that level when you create, when you understand the foundations as well, associate level. I guess I answered your question.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? So that's what I'm telling. Whoever it may be, whatever it may be, the experiences you have, whatever the domain you are working on, either you are a complete programmer, or you are a network administrator, or you are a firewall administrator, and you are working only on Windows servers, only on Linux servers, only on databases, or you just do some kind of a development operations and platforms and other things. Everybody, I'm telling, you need to come to the cloud. Else, if you are not having any experience on the cloud, you will not be able to given any job later, not even later, it has been already been there. That cloud experience has been expected by every other HR nowadays in the market. I'm telling you. So please try to clear any one other certification. If you are good in Windows, you can choose Azure. It's very easy for you to clear the exams. Exam only I'm telling. About other services in the sense you may have to come to AWS. Any one of the cloud certification, please go for it. Either study yourself, learn yourself, and go for the exam and clear it out. One more certification is required for you. That is very much required for you to understand. Either one of the cloud certification is required. Either AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, any one of the certification is required so that the people will recognize you that you can be pulling onto the project. Why I'm telling, nowadays the projects are directly started on cloud. Previously we've been doing the migrations only. Now they are doing the developing the projects, creating the organizations directly on the cloud. You are a network engineer, you know very much about the IP addressing and other thing, routing and other things, but that is not enough. You need to create the network inside the cloud for your organizations, for customers organizations. For that, cloud knowledge is required. How do you log into the cloud? Where the service is located? How do I activate the service? How do I verify whether it is working or not? How do I map the IP addresses, public IP address mapping on this, private addresses mapping? So how do you connect the on-prem connectivity with the cloud? So these all coming under the cloud associate level exams. So please, that's what I'm telling. Whatever it may be your domain you are working on currently, either you are a complete Java programmer and you are working on .NET only, please go for any one of the certification on the cloud. That is very much required. Else, you need to have an experience on the cloud. But when you are saying that I have an experience, no HR or no recruiter will understand that you have you can work on cloud, because cloud is very much dangerous. As I told you, so many things, destructing things can be started very easily. Instead of constructing, you will be destructing it. So better you go for one of the certification, either one of the certification. I'm not pressing on AWS or Azure or Google or something. Any one other certification is very much required for you. Then only you will be able to survive. Previously, we were talking about CCIE. Cisco certification, Juniper certification, Microsoft certifications, right? Linux certification, Red Hat certification, something like that. But now it has been added one more certification that is called cloud. Any one of the cloud, AWS cloud, Google cloud, or Azure cloud. So this is my, what I say, this is my suggestion. You can take it up, or you can take it as an advice from the person who is a senior. So I can only tell you that, but because if you like to widen your opportunity, it means like you would like to spread across many other companies as well. You would like to skip one company and try to apply for someone else, some other company or something. So you require a certification also. I'm telling you, that's all. Please try to have one cloud certification in your resume so that you will be getting some more choices, and you will be called on very much easily on interviews, like preferences will be given for you. So please go for it, I'm telling you. So any other questions? And please people can give you your mail addresses as well, and you can even give me your phone numbers if you have. I will not disturb you, but I will definitely ping you whenever the course has been getting started or something like that. If you would like to join, you can join, and timings I can adjust with that, not a problems. Either morning, evening, or Saturdays, Mondays, and even late night also I can do that. Currently I'm running an AWS batch on evenings, late evenings, around after 9:30, 9 o'clock in the night. So he's from US, so his timings are not matching. So timing is not a problem for me. I can adjust with any timings as well. Okay. So I guess we have spoken so many things, and I can go ahead and end this meeting if you don't have any more questions as well. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Tom. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, all the people. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.